Alright, welcome back to Noble Garage. Another weekend working on the wagon. It's just me here today, so I'm going to be filming everything. So the goal for this weekend is, as you can see here, I have the part of the frame here. That's with the front mount for the subframe, as well as the transmission mount here. As well as we're going to be doing the same thing on the other side for the mount there and the top engine mount. So the goal is, what I need to do is cut this down. So I'm going to be cutting along here. I've got to get the perfect shape to meet with the wagon frame rail. So it's going to be a lot of trial and error, fitting and then cutting. So if you look in the engine bay here, here's the frame rail. So essentially I've got it to fit that profile. I'm going to be cutting here and fitting the transmission mount in there, as well as on the other side. I'm going to be doing basically the same thing, cutting out a section here and having the mount come down like this to mount the subframe. So I'm going to get going on that. Be a lot of measurements and trimming. I'll give you an update when I've got some progress. Okay, so I didn't film much yesterday. I apologize. Just lots of work. It's the next day now. So I have it all basically fitted up in here, as you can see there. So there's no real good way to do this other than lifting the engine up 20 times or more and cut and check, but it's slotted in there perfectly. So what I plan to do is here I'm going to put a little filler plate, then weld along the side, and then you can see the seam here, weld all along that seam. Come inside here, it fits all pretty flush up against there. I'm going to come in and I'm going to cut here just so I don't have so much. Cut that, and then that'll all get welded. It's all bolted up to the subframe. The backs are bolted up as well. So this is all good and strong. Sorry, not good and strong, but good and ready to get welded and will be strong. So here's the other side. This is just sitting here, that'll go. So basically I have to do the same thing. Here's the other side. So I'm going to cut essentially this whole top here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, if I'm going to separate this from this piece. I'd like to not, but I may have to, because I don't want to cut out that much of the frame rail. And then just more cutting and fitting and checking. So we'll give you another update when I've got some of this installed. So what's up? It's the next weekend now. I didn't do much filming last weekend, so this is all just going to be one video. I did a little bit more work off camera last weekend, so I began to cut out this section here. So this engine mount here needs to go in there, but as you can see it needs to sit about like there, and I'd have to cut out all this over here. So I went and ordered a ZZP mount here. So here's the ZZP one, as you can see. Look at the difference in that. So much smaller. This is also billet and it's all poly filled, so it's going to be a lot more dampening. So it should reduce some wheel hop. It will increase vibrations, but it's for performance and also for fitting. So we come over here. Look at that. It's going to fit right in there. Real nice. So that needs to sit inside basically as close to this side as possible because I'm going to be putting the mount in there. So this is going to sit quite low in here, but as you can see it'll fit. I don't have to cut out. If the other one I would have to cut out part of the wheel well here. Sorry, part of the wheel well here. So with this one I don't have to. So I'm going to do some more cutting here now that I have this fitted in here and I can actually see where it needs to go and how much farther down I need to cut, and then I'll give you another update. Okay, so slight progress update. I've got the car up in the air. I didn't want to do this, but I have to. I'm being forced. So you can see here where I've cut, and it looks like you can see here with my hand, that's about where the top of the bottom of the mount needs to sit. But if you come down here, look at how I'm going to mount it. So there is where the top would sit, but then there's also this much below. So it looks like it's going to sit through the frame rail. So I'm going to have to cut most of the bottom of this out here anyways. So I didn't want to cut it out, but you see how I did the other side? I'm going to have to do the same thing, except this is just a lot bigger section. I made a little cardboard stencil, so that's been helping me. So with the car up in the air and the engine out of the way now, hopefully I can come and cut this. So it's not the white lines there, it's the cut mark there, and then the inner white line there that I'm going to cut down there, and then I can just raise the whole thing into the car like I did with the other side. So I'm going to do that now.
In case any of you were wondering how I grind.
Okay, so another update. It's all cut out. Now, some people are probably going to say this isn't the best way to do it, there's a better way. But when I weld it back in there, it's going to have a frame rail to support it, so it's going to be basically back to how it was, minus a little section. Same thing with the one over there. It'll still be strong and good. And I think this is the simplest, not simplest, but the tidiest way I think to do it to keep all the distances. So I got a bit more grinding and fiddling to do to fit it in there properly, and I'll give you an update when both sides are fitted nice. Alright, progress update. So got most of it welded up. As you can see, the seam on that side is all beautifully welded there, nice and strong. Coming over here, that's all been welded, so I need to clean it up with a brush a bit and then I'll paint it. This side here, just a few tacks and a few filler plates we need to make. I made a filler plate for this end. It still needs to be welded up. fully. So it's all tack for the most part. So the following weekend we'll finish up all the little plates that need to be made to fill the gaps. We'll get it fully welded up and then be able to just put the engine in there and have it support its own weight. Alright, well that's it for this time. I'm Dirty and Tires. We're going to call it a day. Next weekend we'll get it all welded up. So give the video a like. Tell me what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching.
Take it easy.